So what is After Effects and how do I use it? The program is from the Company of Science and Art, an Aldus Corporation division. After Effects 2.0 professional version is a motion graphics, video compositing, and special effects application for the Macintosh. Broadcast designers use After Effects to create QuickTime animations, professional quality effects, and movies for videotape, desktop presentations, and film. It has been described as an entire post-production facility on a Macintosh. All of this may sound a bit daunting, so let's show you how easy it really is. We will take the next few minutes to show you how to set up and create a multi-layered effect. We will walk you briefly through your input and output options and system requirements. Once you have installed and opened the After Effects application, you are ready to create a project. Your source material can be file frames generated in graphics applications like Photoshop. You can bring in a series of sequentially numbered picked frames, QuickTime movies, and output files from your favorite 3D applications such as Targa, Pixar, and more. You can also import audio clips such as QuickTime Audio and AIFF files. In this demonstration, we are going to create this news program animation element. For our background layer, we imported a picked file that is several times larger than standard TV resolution. After Effects is a resolution-independent program. That means it can do a lot more than standard TV resolution. Next, we import a picked file of a title we made. This image has alpha channel transparency information associated with it. Our final element will be a QuickTime movie of a rotating globe. This movie also has an alpha channel associated with it. For a little lesson, an alpha channel is additional file information attached to a source file that defines the areas of transparency or opacity of an image. In this case, white is opaque and black is transparent. After Effects fully supports alpha channels. Now that we've imported all of the elements we'll need for our project, let's create our masterpiece. We are going to open a new composition and give it a size of standard NTSC TV, that is 640 by 480 pixels. As you can see, there are many preset sizes and resolutions to choose from, or create your own. Next, define how long you want your composition to be. For this demonstration, we are choosing 10 seconds. Also, for the purposes of being able to show you all of this on one screen, we are going to work with our composition window at half size and at a lower resolution. This is a preview window. Now we're ready to put layers into our new composition. With After Effects, you can have a virtually unlimited number of layers. A layer is one element stacked on top of or behind another. Creating layers is as easy as dragging an image file from the project window to the composition window. First, drag the map image into the composition. Next, our animated globe is added. Since it has an alpha channel, the image layers cleanly onto our scene. Finally, drag and drop our title graphic into the scene. It also has an alpha channel. Now let's say you would actually like the title graphic to be behind the globe. You can determine priorities or the layering order. You can also move, scale, and rotate objects interactively. Wait! That's not even half of the After Effects story. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, moving pictures are worth thousands of dollars. To better explain this aspect of After Effects, watch this. Keyframes are points in time where events are set to happen, and events interpolate or tween from one keyframe to the next. Essentially, everything in After Effects is keyframeable over time. Say in your composition you would like to pan across the map image. Simple. Place it where you want the pan to begin. Mark a keyframe. Move the timeline to where you want it to end. Move the image to where you want the pan to stop. Rewind and jog through your work. You now have a pan across the background. Suppose you wanted the globe to make a grand entrance. Let's set a keyframe for the starting position of the globe. To get that layer to move from one place to another, we establish keyframes. Working in the Time Layout window, we can adjust the parameters of the entire layer. Scroll along in time to set the second keyframe. Back in the Composition window, move the image to a second point in time and scale it a little bit. A dotted string or motion path follows to show your path of animation. Notice we have created two keyframes in which After Effects will interpolate over time to create a smooth move. The motion path was created using Bezier points. You can see and edit the trajectory of your move and control the path into and out of a keyframe. You can now jog through your composition to check the motion path. Now set up the move for the graphic element. You might make a 3-second move fading up along the way. We establish keyframes and position the element in time. You can see a real-time wireframe playback of your elements. You have several options for increasing your speed while working. The composition window itself has variable resolutions. This allows you to see faster screen redraws and faster jogs of your work. This option just changes what you are currently seeing. It does not alter your original image, nor will it alter your final output. As you create your layers, you can add special effects to them. There are a number of effects that come with After Effects. You can add multiple effects to a layer. Keep in mind that each layer and each effect adds to your final render time. Let's say you want to add a drop shadow to the globe layer. Select the layer and choose to apply the drop shadow effect. Add a keyframe for the drop shadow at each of the keyframe positions for the layer's movement. To add to the illusion of depth, move the shadow further away and change its transparency and softness. Then back to a slightly different position on the end frame. Jog through the composition to view your results. There are quite a number of additional effects you can add to your layer. Here are just a sampling. All of the After Effects effects are time-lineable. They can be adjusted over time. They are not canned effects. You have a great deal of control. After Effects can also access the plugin effects used by other graphics applications, such as Photoshop, Kai's Power Tools, Gallery Effects, and Chaos Paint Alchemy. More After Effects effects filters are available free with the return of your registration card, as well as additional effects packages for purchase. Okay, now your producer wants to add a move on a video shot to the animation you've already completed. Without getting too bothered, you import that video scene, which is a QuickTime movie. Move the time marker to where you want the effect to begin, and drag your QuickTime clip into the composition. Move it back a few layers. Mark your keyframe. Scale your image to 0. Move the time marker a few seconds in time. Scale up your image. Notice we used a dialog box. All numerical parameters can be precisely defined within dialog boxes. Jog through your revised composition with the VTR controller. Now it's time to get the project out of the Mac and onto tape. The process of compositing all the layers and effects for test or final output is called rendering. Each frame is rendered in sequence by the Macintosh. There are several options for rendering your composition. It is likely you would want to render a low-resolution animation for checking your work or for client approval. The Make Movie dialog box gives you your options. For checking or approval purposes, you can choose options for a low-resolution test. Keep in mind, the more layers and effects, the more time it takes to render a final project. Macintosh CPU speed is also an important factor. We'll choose to do a draft render at 1/3 the standard TV size. This low-resolution test took 11 minutes on a Quadra 800. Here the final output was rendered at full TV resolution with field rendering for smooth motion and took 2 hours and 25 minutes. But there's more. There are a few other aspects of After Effects 2.0 Professional version we feel we should show you. Composition nesting allows you to create an animation in a composition and import or re-enter it into another composition. This allows you to create an element you can use several times in a composition. You can change an aspect of the base composition and your changes are reflected in the others, all without pre-rendering. Frame blending allows you to stretch a clip in time using frame interpolation. The result is a smooth, slow-motion effect that up until now was only available on very high-end production equipment. Motion blur can be added to a layer to enhance the illusion of motion, especially when working on film effects. After Effects leaves it up to you and your budget as to getting images into and out of the Macintosh. Here are a few options for you do-it-yourselfers. For standard TV resolution at the lower-priced and mid-quality end, you can use a real-time capture and compression board from Raster Ops, Radius, SuperMac, and TrueVision. These type of boards allow you to capture video from cameras and tape machines. Another option is capturing single frames. Using a machine controller card as well as an input card, you can have your Macintosh record a single frame at a time. The quality is very good, but the process is time-consuming. Since After Effects is resolution independent, you can work with other resolutions in TV standards up to 4000 by 4000 pixels. D1, HDTV, and film projects can be imported and exported via exabyte tape, RAM recorders, film scanners, and other methods. All of these processes can be reversed for output. Keep in mind that moving video requires a good amount of disk space. I bet you're wondering what sort of Mac it will take to do all this. There are minimum system configurations. However, we like to recommend a minimum frustration configuration. So we suggest realistically the fastest Quadra series Macintosh you can justify, 20 megabytes of RAM or more, a 16-inch secondary monitor, and at least 1 gigabyte of disk space. You might also consider a video compression card, most of which will support a second monitor. There doesn't seem to be much question about the revolutionary aspect of After Effects. It is an extremely powerful and extraordinarily cost-effective tool for your operation. It is a perfect complement to your disk-based editing systems like Avid, VideoCube, Media 100, and COSA's own editing system, or your online suite. What you have seen here in this very short demonstration doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of the capabilities of After Effects, but just look at what people are doing with it. Contact your local retailer or service bureau or call us at the Company of Science and Art for additional information. Our number is 401-831-2672. Thank you for taking the time to get to know After Effects.